You are already inside the car when your eyes open, even though you never remember getting in. The seat is warm from someone else's memory, and outside, the fog is so thick it presses against the windows like breath from a mirror that never learned your name. The ignition key dangles from your fingers, cold and old, worn smooth like the edge of a lullaby, whispered too many times. When you finally turn it, the engine shudders, not awake exactly, but remembering. The headlights flicker outward and catch the curtain of fog, but nothing behind it moves. You don't look at the rear view mirror. You don't want to see the reflection waiting in your place. The road is a ribbon unspooling into nowhere, the kind that vanishes behind you as you drive. Your hands guide the wheel like they've done this for years, though you can't recall ever learning how. Something hums through the radio static, a sound like breathing underwater, like a voice not quite ready to form its name. And then it comes, as soft as a thought that might have been yours once. Welcome to Whispers Beyond Midnight. You don't know if it came from the speakers, or from you. The dashboard clock is frozen at 3:33 a.m, the numbers glowing red like cauterized time. Outside, the fog moves oddly, sideways, swallowing light instead of scattering it. You adjust the rear view out of habit, and for a moment, just a flicker, you see something sitting in the back seat, a coat, a suitcase, your own eyes. But by the time you blink, there's only static. You whisper something, testing the air, and the radio hisses back, mimicking your breath. Then one beat late, your voice answers. I'm here. But you didn't say that. Your fingers tighten on the wheel, and you smell something you don't want to remember. Old motel sheets, rain on rusted chrome, childhood. The suitcase beside you isn't locked, but you don't open it. You don't want to see what's inside, because it might be your voice, folded like a shirt, still speaking. You drive. The fog doesn't part. It rearranges. The road begins to loop slightly, you think, though the turns never bend. Just the sense of returning to something slightly off-kilter. A faded billboard emerges ahead, half swallowed by mist. Motel 19. Vacancy. But the lights in the N flicker erratically, and as you pass, it spells Motel I. Vacancy. Which could mean one. Or I. Or the beginning of a sentence. You breathe out, and the glass fogs in a shape too symmetrical to be yours. You wipe it with your sleeve and see only more road. The radio shudders again. The station isn't changing, but the voice is. Deeper, older, like a phonograph whispering from behind the veil of someone else's dream. You answered, didn't you? The glove box rattles. There are gloves inside, but you don't remember putting them there. And they're warm. You flick the flashlight from the dash. It doesn't illuminate the road. It reflects off the windshield and then disappears into your eyes. The road curls slightly, like a paper beginning to burn, and for the briefest of moments, you see something on the horizon. A motel sign repeating. A parked car that looks like your own. Yourself, walking toward the fog with a key clenched in one hand and the other, waving goodbye to no one. You keep driving. The mirror twitches again. It wants to show you something. It wants to be looked at, but you just breathe. And the static breathes with you. You wonder if the car is moving at all, or if the fog is just shifting around the memory of movement. The headlights catch a figure up ahead, just long enough to sketch it in shadow. A person, a post, a memory clotting into shape. You blink and it's gone, but your eyes still tingle like something looked back. You turn the dial slightly. Back again. That's good. You remembered. You don't answer, because you don't know what part of you already did. The hum of the road is not beneath you. It's inside you, low and constant, like a memory purring in your chest. Your hand rests near the suitcase, not touching, but close enough to feel the echo of warmth rising from its faded leather surface. The tag is gone. The zipper's tooth line is rusted shut, but it twitches sometimes, like it's trying to speak. The fog folds closer, layered in grey ribbons that pulse and peel as if breathing with the engine. You glance sideways, not to look, but to confirm that something is still beside you. The suitcase doesn't blink, but it feels like it could. The radio stutters again, not static this time, but clicking, like an old slide projector, each sound slicing across your ribs like memory flashbulbs. Click, click, click. A photograph flashes in your head, one you've never seen but always known. A child on a motel bed, one sock on, watching snow fall outside a window. Except the snow is climbing upward. The flakes reverse direction, like time refusing to settle. The dashboard light dims briefly, and your eyes drift shut. Not sleep, but that in-between place where the voice in your head feels less like your own. Don't open it yet. You're not ready. It's not your voice. It's not even inside your head. It's from the glove box. You laugh without sound, then glance again at the suitcase. Still closed, still humming faintly. Your hand drifts to the radio dial and finds resistance. Not mechanical, emotional. Like moving it will cause something else to move in return. You turn it anyway. Click. If you find yourself driving at this hour, remember. It trails off. Something moves in the mirror. Not a person, more like a gesture. A memory adjusting its collar. You see headlights behind you for a breath of time, but they don't shine like headlights. They shine like eyes. You don't speed up. The suitcase shivers slightly. Just once. You touch it. Your fingers sting like they've pressed into ice. And when you pull them back, there's condensation. Not from you, from inside it. Your breath shortens. You roll down the window halfway, and fog leaks in like smoke from a story you forgot the ending of. It smells like motel soap and cheap plastic clocks. You feel it before you see it. The motel. The one from before. It shouldn't be here again. You passed it. You know you passed it. But there it is. Motel 19. Except now the sign flickers differently. Motel 1 and it. The last digit is gone. Erased. A blank. A space for something to be inserted later. Your headlights cut across the parking lot. Same cracked asphalt. Same vending machine rusted and flickering. Room 6's door is open a sliver. The curtain behind it flutters, as if someone is breathing just out of sight. You pull in without choosing to. The car settles. The engine idles. The suitcase groans softly, like something inside it just turned over in sleep. You unbuckle, slowly. The seat resists your leaving. You reach for the suitcase. It's heavier now. You lift it onto your lap and the handle pulses warm once. You blink. The rear view reflects nothing. Not the motel, Not the car, not you. You step out. The suitcase follows. The rain begins again, slow, reversed. Droplets rise from the pavement like thoughts resurfacing. The air is velvet and humming. You walk toward room 6, not to knock, just to listen. The door to room 6 is half open, and you don't push it further. You just stand there, breathing in the smell of old linen and static, like something between mothballs and burnt air. The suitcase in your hand pulses once more, softly, like a cat dreaming, then falls still. Inside, the room doesn't wait for you. It remembers you. The wallpaper curls at the corners, yellowed and peeling, like it's trying to whisper secrets through its cracks. There's a chair facing the television, though no one sits in it. A faint glow seeps from the screen, grey-blue, flickering, too slow to be real. But it's not tuned to anything. Not a channel, not a broadcast, just memory, shuffled and looped. You place the suitcase on the bed. The mattress sighs under its weight. Or maybe it groans. Or maybe it was you. The snow outside the window is rising, gently. Each flake returns to the sky like time disassembling itself. You move toward the glass and watch the storm ascend. One flake sticks briefly to the pane before lifting off again. Backwards. Your reflection is wrong. It moves just slightly off sync. A quarter beat too late. The lips don't match your breath. And the eyes are watching you. There's a sound behind you. A soft click. The television flickers. For the first time, an image appears, blurred at the edges, as if caught through rain. It's a hallway. The hallway. The one outside this room. And on the screen, someone is standing in front of this door, not knocking, just breathing, waiting. You turn. No one's there. But the door, it's closed now. You didn't close it. You didn't hear it, but it's closed. You press your ear to the wood. Nothing. Then something. A voice. You left yourself behind again. Your hand twitches toward the handle, but you don't open it. The mirror above the dresser warps as you pass it, like the glass wants to capture you mid-thought. It bends light wrong, spilling it inward, pooling it behind the silver like syrup. You remember a snow globe, your grandmother's. A little house inside it, always winter, always still. You used to shake it and pretend the house was haunted, the flurries trying to bury it faster. Now it's here, on the dresser. You pick it up. Inside the flakes hover, unmoving, and at the centre, a tiny motel. Room 6's door is slightly ajar. You shake it once. The flakes do not move. Instead, the glass fogs. Words carve themselves in frost on the inside. Who left? The radio on the nightstand hisses to life. Next transmission begins where memory ends. Static continues until loop completes. Motel error correction in progress. A burst of sound. Sharp, reversed laughter. Then silence. You turn back to the suitcase. It's open. You didn't open it. Inside is your old flashlight, a single photograph, and a child's glove. The flashlight flickers once, then steadies. You pick up the photo. It's you, as a child, asleep in this very bed. The suitcase on your lap, the television glowing. In the photo, someone stands at the foot of the bed, blurry, unclear. But their hand rests on your shoulder. You turn, there's no one, but the suitcase is closed again, and heavier. The flashlight flickers. Inward, you feel it in your spine. And outside the window, the snow is still falling up. You sit on the edge of the bed, the suitcase pulsing gently behind you, like something trying to dream with your heartbeat. The air in room 6 feels different now, thicker, slowed down, like the walls are listening, or holding their breath. You reach for the nightstand clock, an old analog thing with faded gold hands and a plastic frame warped by heat or memory. It reads 3:33 a.m. Again, still, but the hands are moving now. Not forward, not backward, but inward, spiraling like smoke caught in a glass jar. You watch them curl toward each other, folding over themselves until they no longer point anywhere at all, just turning in place. Your fingers hover near the face. The glass is warm, and your reflection in it doesn't quite match your motion. You tilt your head. It tilts a moment too late. Tick, tick, tick. The sound stutters, then resumes with a breath between each beat. It's not time passing. It's someone exhaling. You turn away. The flashlight still lies on the dresser next to the glove and the photo. You pick it up again and click it on. The beam shines outward, then folds back, as if the room were a mirror trying to swallow its own shape. You sweep it toward the closet. The door is ajar. You didn't notice before. You step closer, the flashlight trembling slightly in your hand, not from fear, but from something else. Recognition. Inside the closet, there's no rod, no hangers, just an old radio, its antenna bent in the shape of a question mark. The dial spins slowly, all on its own. You crouch, listen. Loop instability detected. Subject unresolved. Awaken protocol pending. Then music, but it's reversed. A lullaby, melting backward into static. You feel something behind you, not movement, presence. You rise slowly. The suitcase is open again. This time it's empty, except for a ticking. You reach inside, expecting the clock. But what you find is soft, damp. You pull out another glove, but this one is small. A child's. And it's wet with something cold. Not blood, not water, snow. And not from outside, from somewhere else. The window fogs again. You walk to it, flashlight still flickering in sync with your breath. You wipe the glass with your sleeve. The parking lot is empty. Your car is gone. Or maybe it never existed. But across the lot, the neon sign flickers. It no longer says Motel 19. It says, Return, 3:33. And then it changes again. Remember, 3:33. And again. Forget, 3:33. The clock on the nightstand begins to whisper. You don't hear it with your ears, but it seeps in. You left the time on. It's leaking. You rush to it, hands shaking. The minute hand uncurls like thread. You try to rewind it, to stop it, but it coils around your wrist. Tight. The world bends slightly. The room stretching at the edges like fabric pulled too far. The glove in your hand drops to the floor. but it doesn't land. It hangs mid-air, frozen in time. You blink. Now it's on your hand, and it fits, and it's warm. The flashlight dies. In the silence, something clicks inside the suitcase. You turn slowly. It's shut, and the ticking is louder now. Not from inside it, from you. Your mouth tastes of metal and silence, like you've been speaking secrets in your sleep again. Only now the words are lodged behind your teeth, sharp and cold, too large to swallow, but too old to spit out. You sit still, the room breathing around you, walls pulsing faintly, like they're remembering how to contain shape. You move your tongue gently along your gums. There's something new, a tooth, but not one of yours, smaller, sharper. You press it loose, and it lands in your palm with a sound like static catching on breath. It hums faintly, a whisper trying to become a name. You close your hand around it. You do not want to hear what it has to say. The suitcase is watching. It doesn't have eyes, but it watches. You feel its weight change with your breath, as if each exhale feeds it shape. You rise slowly, step towards it, and open it without thinking. Inside now, a mirror. Not a compact, not decorative. Just a slab, heavy and rimless, the kind used in motels that never renovate. The glass ripples as you lift it. No reflection, only fog swirling like breath caught in amber. You angle it upward, expecting to see yourself. Instead, you see your mouth. Only your mouth. It's open. It's speaking, but you're not. The voice that emerges is soft, brittle, familiar. It scrapes across your mind like old ribbon tape. You told me to wait here. You grip the mirror tighter. It pulses once. In its center, your face forms. Fragmented. Aged wrong. As if memory were trying to sketch you in reverse. It speaks again. You left me in the voice. The mirror goes dark. You blink. Now you're holding the radio. The antenna curls upward toward your eye. The dial spins to a station you never knew existed. FM 333. A child's voice crackles through, layered beneath static. I didn't want to say it, but I did. With your teeth. You shut the radio off, but the voice continues, leaking from the walls now, soft and wet like rain running upward behind paint. You clutch the flashlight again. It buzzes faintly, the beam drooping like a dying memory. You sweep the light across the room. The chair is no longer empty. Something sits in it, vaguely shaped like a person sculpted from fog. Limbs indistinct, eyes closed, hands resting in its lap, holding your gloves. The ones you wore last winter, the ones you lost. You take a step forward and the shape doesn't move, but the gloves float upward, gently, like marionette hands rising from sleep. Then they drop, empty, and the shape dissolves. The chair rocks gently, as if something just stood up. The suitcase rattles. You rush to it, desperate to make it stop, to end the humming that now fills the air like bone dust in wind. You flip it open. Empty again, except for your mouth. Not literally. No flesh, no teeth, just a recording. A tape, labelled in crooked ink. Play me. You promised. You slip it into the radio's tape deck without knowing why. A pause. Then, this is how you sounded when you first disappeared. Your voice, soft and uncertain. begins to whisper a lullaby you don't remember learning. It's not beautiful. It's honest. You weep, but your tears rise from your cheeks and float upward, absorbed into the ceiling like rain reversing course. The mirror rattles again. And now it shows you, sitting in the chair, listening, still, mouth slightly open. The tape ends, but the silence it leaves behind, it is heavier than sound, denser, as if the air has thickened with the echo of what you almost remembered. You close the radio with a slow click, the way one might close a music box that has outlived its tune. You look at your hands. They're covered now, smooth brown leather gloves, stitched at the wrist in a way you half recall from your father's coat, or your grandmother's stories, or a dream where you walked backward through a snowstorm holding no one's hand. You don't remember putting them on, but they fit. The fingertips are slightly damp, as if they've been touching cold glass or waiting in pockets too long. You flex them slowly. They move with you, but not in perfect time. You open the motel door. The hallway outside is longer than it was before. Shadows bleed across the carpet in angles that don't belong to any light source you can see. Each step echoes not in front of you, but behind, like your footsteps are repeating from an earlier version of this walk. You glance back. The door to room 6 is gone. In its place, a blank wall, breathing faintly. You walk. Doors drift past, numbered out of order. Room 3, room 19, room 0, room 33. Each one cracked open slightly, leaking sounds you'd rather not understand. At room 7, the door is wide open. Inside, just visible through the light-fogged air, is the driver's seat of your car, and the glove box. Open. You step inside. You are not in a room anymore. You're back in the car, or a memory of it, or something built from the same silence. The engine hums faintly, low and apologetic. The glove box is breathing. You kneel beside it, look inside. There are gloves, 4 pairs, all the same colour, all yours, all slightly different sizes. You reach in, touch the topmost pair. Your vision flickers. Suddenly, you're a child. In the back seat, snow outside. The car parked beside a motel that doesn't have a name. Someone's driving. Someone you trust. Then, you're back, gloves in hand. But now they're wet, dripping. With what? You don't want to guess. You try to close the glove box. It resists. From its shadows, a voice bubbles up. Hoarse, looped, slightly familiar. You left these here last winter. You promised you'd come back. You whisper, I don't remember. The glove box laughs. It sounds like your voice, aged sideways. You do. You just don't want to. You drop the gloves. They land without sound. You stand and open the car door. You're back in the hallway. Only now, it's snowing. Indoors, each flake falls upward, each one shaped like a tiny hand. You try to wipe your brow, but the gloves are back, and your breath fogs the mirror hanging at the hallway's end. Words begin to write themselves in the condensation. Try again. Open it this time. You reach the door marked 3. Not room 3. Just 3. You press your gloved hand to the knob. It's cold. It knows you. The doorknob labelled simply 3 turns without resistance. And as it opens, You expect another room, more walls, maybe a hallway gently decaying into dream stuff. But instead, the door reveals a road. The same road. Your road. Blacktop bleeding into fog, edges smoothed down by time, stretching forward forever and folding behind you like a reel of film being rewound or overwritten. You step through. The motel disappears behind you with the sound of pages turning underwater. Your boots sink slightly into the soft edge of the shoulder, and the fog, ever loyal, folds around your body like a blanket that remembers every breath you've ever taken in sleep. The air tastes like plastic and ozone, like a cassette left too long in the sun. You look down. Your feet are leaving prints again. That shouldn't be happening. Not here. Not how. You reach into your coat pocket without knowing what you're searching for. Your fingers find a cassette tape. No label. No case. Just a worn ribbon of memory coiled inside a thing that hums faintly, like it's dreaming of a voice. You blink and you're standing beside a mile marker. It reads 3:33. No units, no direction, only time. The suitcase is in your hand again. You don't remember picking it up, but it's there, heavier than before, as if each step is adding something back inside it. Not objects, moments. The radio in your other hand flickers to life. No buttons, just breath. You've driven this far before, but you turned around last time. You whisper without thinking. What happens if I don't? Silence. Then the road beneath your feet begins to play back a sound, like a looped message on tape. Your own footsteps from earlier, only faster. You stop. The sound continues. Something is approaching from behind. Running. You don't turn. You walk. Faster now. The footsteps behind you match pace, then quicken. You reach into your jacket again, pull out a photograph. It's crumpled, old, still wet at the edges. It shows a motel door. Number 3. You're standing in front of it, holding a suitcase. The same suitcase. Your eyes in the photo are closed. The road ahead of you bends slightly, not a curve, just a warping, like gravity's been adjusted. Trees begin to emerge from the fog, leafless, dead, except they're growing backward, leaves lifting from the road, pulling back into the branches, and hanging from one branch, a pair of gloves, your gloves. Still damp, still waiting. You don't stop. You keep walking. The tape recorder hums in your pocket. You rewind it. It hisses, then speaks. There is no forward, only longer loops. Every road is a mirror. Every step a reflection. The suitcase vibrates. You set it down. It opens by itself. Inside, a map drawn in red thread on motel paper. It shows a road, a circle, a room, a mirror, a mouth, and in the center, where the heart should be, play me. You blink. The map is gone, but your hands are covered in red thread, tangled, tight. Each line whispers backward. You're being unwound. The road under you dissolves into tape, and still you walk. The fog thickens, not as weather, but as presence. An intelligence that folds around your shoulders, drips through your thoughts, and hums gently beneath your ribs. Your breath paints patterns in the air, and the cold that lingers is not natural. It's ancestral. Somewhere above you, a moon hangs crooked, pale as a dead bulb behind frosted glass. But its light doesn't fall. It reflects upward. The fog glows faintly from beneath. Mirror light. You stop walking. Beneath your boots, the ground is no longer road. It's glass. Not smooth. Fractured. Patched together with seams of fog and silence. Like memory spliced into place by a hand too tired to care for symmetry. You kneel. The mirror beneath your body doesn't show you. It shows the car. Parked. Still running. Empty. The suitcase lies open on the passenger seat. A flashlight flickering inside it like a heartbeat fading. And in the back seat, you, sleeping. Mouth slightly open. Gloves on your lap. The engine sputters. You rise unsettled. This version of you is familiar, but not present. A shard of path not taken. A loop that didn't unwind. You walk again. The mirror glass cracks beneath you with each step, spiderwebbing silently, but never breaking. Each fracture hums in a frequency you can't hear, but can feel inside your teeth. Ahead, a light, dim, flickering. You approach. It's not a street lamp, not a porch light. It's a mirror, standing in the road, held up by nothing, 10 feet tall and breathing frost. The fog dances in its glow like memory circling a drain. You stop before it. This time, it does reflect you, but only slightly. Your gloves are missing. Your mouth is sewn shut. And your eyes are open, wide, weeping smoke. The reflection moves on its own. It lifts a hand, points behind you. You turn. There's a child standing in the fog, holding a snow globe. They do not speak, but the snow inside it is falling upward. And inside the tiny glass world, you, standing here, looking at them. You take a step toward the child. They vanish. The snow globe drops, doesn't shatter, just rolls to your feet, humming. You pick it up. Inside now, the road, just the road. No signs, no motel, no child, just you, walking in circles. The mirror behind you groans. It's cracking, not glass, voice. And through those cracks, a sound escapes. A whisper you recognize. You're almost ready to remember. You turn back. The mirror is gone, but your reflection remains, suspended in air, mouth slowly opening. You touch your own lips. Something falls out. A key, still warm. You know what it unlocks, but not yet. The key weighs nothing in your hand, but your palm aches beneath it as if it were carved from memory instead of metal. Its surface is scratched, rusted in places where breath might have lingered. The teeth of it, sharp, uneven, don't match any lock you can recall, yet feel perfectly shaped for something you swore you already opened once in a dream you buried sideways. You tuck it into your pocket. It burns briefly, like it recognizes you. The road ripples again underfoot. Not visually, audibly. A soft rewinding, like an old VCR tape gasping for breath at the end of its loop. Each step hums with magnetism, a pulse that syncs not with your heart, but with your eyes. And then you see it, caught under your next step, half submerged in the fog as though it were always waiting for this moment. A photograph, weathered, bent at the corners. its image smudged, like something that tried too hard to forget itself. You kneel and lift it gently. It shows a person, familiar posture, familiar suitcase. It's you, but not quite. This version of you stands in front of room 19, looking directly at the lens, unsmiling. The door behind you in the photo is ajar, and inside the darkness there's a faint flicker of light. No shape, no detail, just the sense of something watching back. You stare at the photo, and it blinks. Not metaphor, not illusion. The eyes in the photo close once, then open, wider, looking directly at you. You flinch, drop it. It floats mid-air like dust caught in reverse sunlight. You reach for it again, but now it's different. The photo shows the inside of a room, room 6, the bed, the suitcase, you asleep, a child's hand on your shoulder, your hand smaller. You look down at your own gloves. They're gone again. Your fingers are smaller, your sleeves too long. The fog feels taller. You're a child. Again. The photo has changed once more. Now you're watching the car drive away. Backseat window. Rain on glass. Someone's waving. You. You whisper, "I didn't want to go." And the fog answers back, low and kind. You never did. The road around you twists slightly, folds, rewinds. You're standing at the edge of the woods now, trees gnarled and hollowed. Something rustles between them, too quick to see, too loud to ignore. You clutch the photo. It's warm now. It pulses. You turn it over. A message scrawled in faint pencil. You left the door open. Something got out. You look back. There is no door. Only the mirror again. Cracked now. Leaking fog. From within the fractures, a voice threads through. Don't look at the photo too long. It remembers better than you do. The photo in your hand curls slightly. Burns at the edge. You drop it. It hisses out of existence. But the image lingers behind your eyes. You keep walking, because there's nothing else to do. And because something behind you has started whispering your name. Wrongly. You don't remember picking it up again, but the flashlight is in your hand. Smooth, dented, still warm from another moment. Its beam isn't light in any conventional sense. It doesn't cut through the fog, doesn't search the way flashlights are supposed to. Instead, it spills inward, not into the path ahead, but into you. Every time you flick it on, something inside your ribs glows dimly. A corner, a stairwell, a room sealed off by time. You try not to point it at your own chest, but your hands have their own agenda. You walk the road, though now it feels less like walking and more like retracing. The trees beside you flicker in and out of phase. Sometimes pine, sometimes telephone poles. Once a row of hospital beds strung between trunks like hammocks, each occupied by someone with your face. You pass them without turning. You don't want to know which version of you made it to sleep. The fog peels back momentarily, and you see another version of the road, parallel, or maybe beneath. On that road, a person walks with you, not beside you, through you. Each step you take echoes theirs, not in sound, in feeling. Their thoughts are stitched to the inside of your gloves. They're not wearing gloves, but they're cold. And so are you. You shine the flashlight down. Its beam illuminates nothing physical, just thoughts you tried to bury. A birthday you never reached. A suitcase you never unpacked. The sound of your mother's voice telling you, gently, that no one was ever really in that room. The glove box again. You're back in the car. No transition, no sense of motion. You're just there. The engine idles. The radio hisses like it's trying not to remember. You aim the flashlight at the steering wheel. You see hands, not yours, gloveless, scarred. They grip the wheel like a throat. You blink. You're standing on the road again, but your breath fogs the mirror hanging in the air in front of you. That shouldn't be possible. You aim the flashlight at the mirror. It doesn't reflect you. It reflects what you're about to be. Someone older. Someone whose mouth no longer opens unless the static tells it to. The mirror shatters. Not into glass, but into sound. Each piece hums a different version of your name. You try to remember which one is real. They all sound familiar. None of them feel true. You whisper, "I want to go back." The flashlight hums, then flickers. Your chest glows. You see a motel door there. Room 6. It's locked. The key is still in your pocket, but your hands won't reach for it. You try again. They won't move. The flashlight slips from your grip. It lands gently on the ground, still on, still glowing inward. Now the light shines up through the soles of your feet. It climbs your bones. You hear someone speaking from far away. The same voice from the mirror. It's asking you a question, but your ears are full of fog. You nod anyway, because the question doesn't matter, only the answer. You wake up mid-sentence, not in bed, not even in sleep, just mid-thought, standing still on the side of the road, mouth slightly open, windless fog pressed gently to your lips as though it were listening, waiting for the rest of what you were about to say. You never said anything, but something is speaking from your chest. The voice is thin and digital, stitched with static and memory. It buzzes from within, from the place behind your ribs where echoes go to rot. You reach into your coat and feel the radio there. It's alive again. The dial spins freely beneath your fingers, even though you don't remember touching it. It doesn't click or resist, just glides, smooth as breath. But with every turn, something shifts inside you. First, your name, spoken too slowly, syllables warped like tape melting. Then a date, then a scream reversed. Then, nothing. You freeze. The radio begins tuning itself. Each notch of the dial hums into your body, not around it. The frequencies don't move through the air, they move through you. FM 333 clicks into place. Your spine chills, and the radio speaks. You remember where you buried it, don't you? You whisper, "Buried what?" The voice, the one you weren't supposed to answer. You feel a tightness in your throat, not fear, recognition. You glance down. The suitcase is open at your feet. You don't recall setting it there. Inside, a radio, identical. It's already turned on, but its dial doesn't spin. It drips. Each droplet lands with a word. You. Left. Me. There. You reach toward the suitcase's radio. The dial resists. You grip harder, and it turns you. Not physically, not entirely, just enough. You're facing the road again, but it feels different now. Longer, wider, hungrier. The trees are further apart, the sky is lower, the air is thinner, but it tastes like old cassette tape and motel soap. You start walking. Each step lands out of sync, like you're walking through someone else's memory of your walk. You raise the radio. It whispers names. Your name. Your mother's. A teacher you forgot. Then silence. Then a click. You answered. That's all it needed. The sky flickers. Just once. Then darkness deepens. The flashlight buzzes faintly in your back pocket. You pull it out. It doesn't light the road. It casts shadows in your lungs. You cough. The fog spills from your mouth. It smells like burning film. You don't stop. The radio hums again. You're not alone. You just forgot how to listen. You whisper. To who? And the dial turns itself. And the voice that answers is yours. You enter a room that wasn't there a moment ago. Just a flicker at the edge of your vision. Then a door where the fog seemed thickest. A shape you didn't remember deciding to open. A floor you don't remember stepping onto. The door clicks behind you, softly, like a sigh being put to rest. The air is wrong. It's tilted. Gravity feels misaligned here, slightly diagonal, like someone turned the world 5 degrees and forgot to turn it back. You look up. Rain crawls down the ceiling. Not drips, not drops, crawls. Thin rivulets of water slide across the plaster, tracing invisible veins, drawing symbols you almost recognize. Glyphs from dreams that frightened you as a child, warnings scratched into frost. The ceiling fans rotate counterclockwise. They're not spinning. They're watching. There's a chair in the center of the room facing a television set that's already glowing. The screen is soft and muted, like memory being whispered through gauze. You don't approach yet. You listen first. The subject re-enters the room at 3:33. Rain persists. Static compliant. Observed anomalies. Recursive voice layering. Mirror inconsistencies. Memory bloom. The voice is clinical. Female. Familiar. You take a step forward. The carpet beneath you is wet, but not from the rain. From footsteps, yours, already here. Already walked this room, already sat in that chair. You reach the television. It shows a motel hallway, room 6. The door is open, light spilling out like water in reverse. And in the doorway, a child. You, holding a snow globe. The camera angle changes. Though you're holding no remote, though no camera exists. Now the screen shows this room. Right now. And you, watching. The TV is filming you. The moment collapses briefly. Vision doubled, breath caught, hands gloved, though you didn't wear gloves in here. You reach out to touch the screen. The child does the same. Your fingers meet through glass. The screen flickers. And then you're sitting in the chair. You didn't move, but now you're sitting. The screen is blank, but your reflection stares back. No mouth, only the eyes. And they are weeping. From the ceiling, the rain continues to crawl downward. Each droplet hums softly as it slides. and you begin to notice the pattern. They're forming letters. A sentence, barely readable. You squint. It reads, "Don't wait for the knock. It already came." Behind you, the suitcase thumps once. You stand slowly. The suitcase is shut. You unlock it with the key that is already in your hand, though you never took it from your pocket. Inside, a snow globe, but the scene within it is this room. Chair, TV, ceiling rain, and you, looking down, holding the globe. You shake it once. The snow doesn't fall. It rises. It climbs the miniature ceiling, just like here, just like now. You laugh, and the sound doesn't come from your mouth. It comes from the static behind the walls. Then silence. You walk toward the door. It doesn't open, but it doesn't stop you either. You step through it like fog, and the rain forgets how to follow. You are walking again, though there is no floor beneath you. Just fog hardened into something that pretends to hold weight. With each step, your boots leave behind no trace, but you feel echoes pushing back, little shudders under your soles, like the road is remembering you, reluctantly. The radio crackles in your coat, but it doesn't speak. Instead, your throat does, unwilling. A tickle, a pressure, something folded and old pressing up from inside. You cough, and paper slips from your mouth. You don't panic. You never do in dreams. It's folded into a tight square, damp from breath, yellowed at the edges like it's been living inside you for years. You unfold it. The handwriting is yours, but written by a version of you that was closer to silence. Small, careful letters, as if trying not to wake something nearby. It reads, "When the door knocks again, don't answer with your voice. Answer with your leaving." You read it 3 times. Each time, the sentence changes slightly. Don't answer. Don't leave. Don't knock. You blink. Now the paper is blank, but your mouth still tastes like ink. You keep walking. The fog begins to thin, not in presence, but in meaning. It stops hiding and starts revealing. A road, a sign. You reach it. It's hand-painted, crooked. It reads, "You are almost here." But the word "here" is crossed out, replaced in chalk. Home. You don't remember where that is. You touch the sign. It's warm. You step beyond it. A structure emerges. Not a house. Not a moat. Something in between. A building made of doors. Windows that open into fog. Staircases that curl without landing. The kind of place dreams store unfinished thoughts. At its base, the suitcase, waiting. Its surface pulses once when you approach, like something inside heard your breath. You kneel, open it. Inside, a mirror, a glove, a cassette labelled, "Don't press play until it's you." And beneath it all, another note. This one not written, carved, etched into the lining of the suitcase with a sharp edge. You weren't supposed to come back. You close it gently. The structure looms before you, infinite in depth, but narrow in height. The first door is open. Room 3. You already know it. The hallway beyond leans sideways, floor shifting under your steps like water in a sinking boat. You pass pictures on the wall, old, faded. All of them are you, different ages, different eyes. In one, you're smiling. In another, you're asleep. In the last, you're speaking. But there's no mouth, only sound. You hear it now, soft, low, a lullaby, but reversed. You follow it through the hallway. Each step peels something away. Memories of silence, dreams with half-open doors. You reach a room, inside a chair, a radio, a note pinned to the wall. It says, "Leave this version of yourself here." You sit, and without meaning to, you press record. The chair sighs as you settle into it, the kind of weary exhale that furniture makes when it recognizes its occupant. You feel its memory wrap around your body, threadbare, sunken, still carrying the shape of someone who once waited here far too long. Probably you, possibly not. The room hums softly, as though breathing in sync with your own shallow rhythms. The TV is already on. You didn't touch it. Its glow spills across the floor like water trapped in a loop, pooling around your feet and rising slowly, not in depth, but in intention. You watch as the screen flickers between static and clarity, as though struggling to remember what story it's supposed to tell. And then you see it, yourself, asleep, not here, there, in another room, room 6. Your body curled slightly on a bed you remember, but don't feel, hands resting on your stomach, one gloved, one bare. The camera is steady. No angles, no edits, just you, breathing. Then, behind your sleeping form, the door opens, quietly. Something steps into the frame. You lean forward, but the screen warps slightly, details fogging like breath on glass. The figure doesn't move toward you. It just stands, waiting, watching you sleep. Then it turns toward the camera, and its face is a mirror. Not metaphor, not mask. A full, clean, reflecting pane, silvered and smooth. Your sleeping self glowing in its curve. And then it speaks. You dream in loops. The screen cuts to black, then pulses, then returns, different angle, still you. Now the mirror is sitting beside you, holding your hand. You stir, slightly, but do not wake. The reflection tilts forward, whispering something into your ear. You can't hear it, but your sleeping self begins to cry. Silent, slow. A single tear falls upward, rejoining the ceiling. You whisper, "What did it say?" And the television answers with a new image. A door. Your door. Room 6. Number painted over. Now it simply reads, "Return." You blink. You're holding the remote. The buttons don't have labels, only symbols. A key, a mouth, a spiral. You press the spiral. The screen flickers. The camera is behind you now, watching you, sitting in the chair, holding the remote, watching the screen. And behind that, you, another figure, same size, same gloves, same outline, but blurred, looped slightly off sync, like a second broadcast layered over the first. You feel breath at your neck, but you don't turn. The television glitches once, then stabilizes. Now, your childhood room, empty, but the bed is still unmade. And the window, it shows the motel, from far away, from now, from always. The flashlight in your pocket vibrates gently. You pull it free, turn it on, point it at the TV. The screen lights up like a mirror, and your reflection is awake. Eyes wide, mouth closed, tears falling upward. You speak softly. Don't broadcast this part. The reflection nods and fades. The television turns itself off. The hum lingers. The remote disappears from your lap. You stand, and the chair is empty again. You step away from the chair, and the room breathes out, like it's letting go of you, like it no longer needs to hold this version of you in place. The hum of the TV is gone, but the echo remains, stitched into the wallpaper, vibrating gently through your feet. You look to the far wall. There hangs a clock, round, ordinary at first glance, its hands frozen at 3:33, of course. But as you draw nearer, something shifts behind the face, like a shadow pacing back and forth inside the glass, waiting for your breath to fog the surface. You reach out. The second hand twitches, not forward, not backward, sideways. The clock ticks once, but it doesn't sound like time. It sounds like a lock unlatching. The glass ripples under your fingertips. You press, and the entire face gives way with a low, reluctant groan, swinging inward like a hinge. Behind it, not gears, not wires, a hallway, narrow, tiled in numbers. You step through. The clock swings shut behind you with a soft, mechanical sigh. There is no door now, only hallway, only ticking. The walls breathe rhythmically, papered in old motel receipts, each one stamped with times that do not exist. 4:66, 25:01, 00. You try to focus, but the floor pulses beneath you like a vein. You walk. Each tile bears a number, but they flicker as you step on them, changing underfoot like channels on a forgotten television. You stop, glance down. The tile says you. You take another step. Another. Not. Then the next 5 blink too quickly for comprehension. At the 6th, alone. You don't breathe. You don't need to. The hallway opens into a room. It's a kitchen, but wrong. The refrigerator hums a lullaby. The sink drips upside down, and on the wall above the stove, another clock, same time, 3:33. You walk toward it. It watches you approach. Its second hand spins in slow, endless circles, never touching the hour, never touching anything real. You speak, unsure why. What happens if I open this one too? And the clock answers, simply. Then you remember. You reach for it, but it opens first, unfolds downward, a stairwell inside. Not physical, more like a sensation descending, a staircase into thought. You go, deeper, Each step not into space, but into time. A moment you almost lived. A word you nearly said. A face you nearly kissed. All of it drips past you like candle wax. At the bottom, a room, your childhood bedroom. As it was, as it never really was. The bed is made. The curtains are drawn. On the nightstand, a snow globe. You pick it up. Inside, a clock tower, frozen at 3:33. You shake it, and the snow climbs upward, veiling the time. You smile, then frown, because the bed is no longer empty. You're in it, sleeping, again, but your mouth is slightly open, and something inside it shines. You step closer, and realize the glowing object in your sleeping mouth is a clock, small, ticking, inside your throat. You reach out, but the room folds, spins, and you're back in the stairwell, climbing upward, each step now shaped like a second, each breath harder. At the top, a single door, no handle, just a keyhole. You already know the key is still in your pocket. You already know what it unlocks. The door at the top waits without urgency. It doesn't beckon. It doesn't breathe. It simply exists, inert and eternal, as though it has been waiting here since before you learned what a key was for. Its surface is matte, ash-coloured, with the texture of something long buried, then unearthed in a storm. You touch it. It's warm. The key is in your hand already, as always. No motion needed, no search. It nestles into the lock like a thought returning home, clicks with the softness of snow landing on an old porch step. You don't push. It opens inward, and the air beyond smells like the inside of your father's car. Vinyl and fog. You step through, and you are in the back seat again, child-sized, smaller now. Your forehead presses lightly against the cold window, breath fogging the glass in a slow, rhythmic pulse. Outside, rain lifts from the asphalt, threading upward into a night sky that does not reflect stars, only shapes. Your reflection in the glass stares back at you. Only the eyes are yours. The rest, too old, too tired. The radio in the front hums softly. A talk show, but all the voices are whispering at once. Not in chaos, in chorus. And one of them is you. You glance toward the driver's seat. There's no one there, but the wheel turns gently, as if cradled by invisible hands. The car moves, slow, steady, through a fog so thick it seems to press memory out of shape. You reach forward, curious, uncertain. Your hands brush the leather between the seats, and from the rearview mirror, hands reach down, gloved, trembling. They aren't yours, but they move like they remember being. One hand traces the seam of your coat. The other lifts a tape recorder. It's already on. And playing. This is where you stopped before, but not this time. You lean back. The ceiling above you flickers, not with light, with film. Old home video, scenes projected in the folds of the upholstery, birthdays you don't remember attending, motel rooms you swore never existed. And always, always, the mirror, watching from above. You tilt your head to meet it. Your reflection smiles, but you do not. The hands above begin to fold in on themselves, looping like ribbon, disappearing back into the silver surface of the mirror. You try to speak, but your voice doesn't come from your mouth. It rises from the car speakers. I'll find you again, even if I forget myself. You reach for the suitcase beside you. It's zipped shut, but trembling. Inside, you already know. A glove, a mirror shard, a photo of the road you're on, taken from above. You look out the window again, and now the fog parts briefly, just long enough to reveal another version of the car, driving beside you. Same make, same model, same you. But you're in the front seat, older, crying. The two cars do not touch, but they drive in rhythm. For a moment, perfect sync. Then yours accelerates, and the other vanishes. You whisper, "Come back." The mirror fogs over again, and in the condensation, words form. I never left. You don't remember when the car stopped moving. It must have happened during a blink, a breath, a thought that folded too tightly to unfold. One moment the world slid past you in soft reverse. The next, stillness. The headlights glow through the fog like twin moons that forgot their sky. No engine hum, no tire whisper, only the ticking sound. Not from the dashboard, from the suitcase. You reach for it. It's in the passenger seat again, though you were sure it was in the back, or maybe buried under the motel bed, or left beside a dream. You place it on your lap. It's heavier now. It smells like salt and rain that never finished falling. You unzip it. Inside, a loop of magnetic tape. No cassette, just the ribbon, coiled loosely like a sleeping snake. You lift it carefully. As you do, sound leaks into the car. Soft at first, like laughter through drywall, then clearer. The road doesn't end, it loops. You glance at the mirror. It doesn't reflect the back seat. It reflects the road ahead. But it's the same stretch, the same fog, the same curve, the same sign. Motel 19. Only now, the one flickers, turns into a 0, then a 9, again. You open the door. The air outside is colder, but it carries the smell of the same morning you had as a child. Warm cereal, rain on screen doors, the hum of your grandmother's stories behind the wall. You step onto the asphalt. It accepts you, welcomes you like a page accepting ink. And then you see yourself, far ahead, walking slowly, suitcase in hand, gloves on. You call out, but no sound leaves your lips. Your voice unspools into fog, curls around your ankles like film left too long in sun. You begin to walk, and with every step, the world around you rewinds slightly. Trees vanish, then return. Signs flip backward. Your thoughts echo before you think them. You know this path. You've walked it already. You remember where the rain will start, where the photograph will fall from the sky, where the mirror will speak your name. And still, you walk. The road curls ahead, and now you see your other self pause, turn, glance toward the fog. They see you, or do they? Their head tilts, they raise the suitcase, and slowly unzip it. Inside, a photograph of you, now, holding this moment, framed in fog. The other you smiles, not cruel, not kind, just knowing. And then they turn and vanish into the next bend. You follow, but the bend stretches, keeps stretching. A loop, without seam, and you understand now. There's no final door, no ending path, only circuit, only echo, only version after version, each walking, each remembering, each forgetting in time. You stop. The suitcase pulses gently. The tape hisses softly in your hand. You whisper into the wind, "I never left." And from the mirror in your pocket, the reply returns. You never had to. You are not walking anymore. You are being carried, not by arms, not by any presence, but by memory, rising from beneath your feet like fog born of longing. The road no longer feels solid. Each step lands in something soft, like wet film or forgotten names. The suitcase is weightless now, as if it has accepted its place in the loop, or perhaps forgiven you. Your fingers twitch. Inside your pocket, the mirror shard hums gently, vibrating with a warmth that does not belong to glass. You stop beneath an overhang of trees, branches bare and pointing downward like accusing fingers. The fog thins just enough for one vision to emerge, like light developing in a dark room. A memory, your grandmother's house. Not the real one, the dream one, the one you built after she passed. The windows are cracked open and the curtains flutter in a wind that doesn't exist. You step through the front door, which opens not into a foyer, but into a hallway strung with radio dials instead of pictures. They click softly as you pass, each one tuned to a different version of your voice. "Where are you? Come back. Don't forget. Don't remember. Stop. Go. Me. You stop." At the end of the hallway, a mirror, framed in gloves. You approach. The reflection shows you, sitting on the floor of room 6, younger, maybe 12, maybe 30, clutching a snow globe. The inside swirls violently, flakes colliding, bouncing off the glass. And then, a second figure steps into view, older, also you. They kneel beside the child, place a gloved hand on their shoulder. The child does not flinch. They know, they always knew. You reach forward and touch the mirror. It softens, turns warm, becomes paper, a photograph. You are holding it now. In it, the same moment, you comforting you, your throat tightens. Tears well, but they rise, not fall, sliding upward past your cheekbones, into your hair, into the air. You whisper, "I remember you." And a voice from somewhere close but not near, "I remember. You remembering me." The hallway melts. You are standing beneath the trees again. The mirror shard in your pocket glows briefly, then fades. You take it out. It no longer reflects anything, just a dull silver surface. Blank. You slide it gently into the suitcase. Inside, a second photograph. You've never seen this one. It shows the motel from the sky. Room 6 has its door open. The caption at the bottom reads, "Next time, bring the key sooner." You look up. The road waits. It's not straight. It's not winding. It's familiar. You walk. The rain doesn't fall anymore. It hovers, motionless. A memory paused. You reach into your chest. Not physically, but in sensation. Something clicks, not a sound, a moment, sliding into place, and the loop tightens. Not to trap you, to embrace you, because even now, even here, there is still a version of you waiting at the window, watching the road, hoping you'll arrive. The fog thickens around you like thought, not weather. Each swirl brushing against your temples, as if trying to remind you of something you never wanted to know. The road beneath your feet pulses faintly, timed to your breath, as if your heartbeat is the signal that animates everything now. You stop to listen, not to the wind, not to the radio, but to yourself. Somewhere behind your sternum, a voice stirs, low, cracked, yours. It coughs, once, twice, then more deliberately, and something rises in your throat. You double over, not from pain, but from release. From deep inside you, coated in old silence and warmth, a shape crawls up your windpipe. Not flesh, not bone, metal. A key. You hold it in your palm. It hums gently, familiar. Its teeth are not shaped like those of a lock. They are shaped like letters. Letters that spell your name. But not the one you use now. The first one. The real one. The one you stopped answering to after room 6. You whisper it, and the fog retreats. Just slightly, enough to reveal a door, freestanding, no walls, no hinges, just the door, red, with the number 0 scratched into it by a child's hand. You approach. The suitcase pulses in rhythm with the key. You reach for the knob. It's warm. Too warm. Like it's been touched 1,000 times by fingers that wore gloves too long. The door swings open before you twist. Inside, your voice. All of it. Every word you swallowed. Every whisper you kept to yourself. Floating in the air like threads of old cassette tape, tangled, humming. The room contains nothing, and everything. A single chair, a mirror, and on the mirror, words scrawled backward in fog. Say it out loud. You hesitate. Then you speak the name on the key. The mirror glows, but it doesn't reflect you. It plays a video, you, younger, speaking into a tape recorder. Nervous, quiet, you rewind. You press play again. The tape says, "If you're hearing this, it means you came back. It means you forgave yourself. Or, it means you never really left." You blink. The mirror flickers. Now it shows you asleep again. Room 6. A figure watching from the corner. But this time, the figure isn't a stranger. It's you, older, waiting. The you in the bed begins to stir. You both turn to the mirror, and the image fractures. From within your pocket, the snow globe hums. You pull it free, shake it once. The snow lifts. Inside, the door. The same red one you opened, but now the number is gone, and in its place, a mouth, whispering, endlessly. You bring the key to your lips, hold it there, then gently press it against your chest. It melts through your coat, and locks itself in. You smile, and somewhere, the tape finishes, the suitcase closes, and the voice says, Now you're ready to answer. You feel it first, not on your skin, but in your lungs, each breath thickening as though saturated with old rain, the kind that never really dries, the kind that comes from inside instead of sky. The fog thins just enough to reveal a small clearing, circular, too perfect to be natural. At its center, the suitcase. Waiting. You don't remember putting it there. You never do. But it knows when you're ready. The zipper is already half open. You kneel beside it, hands trembling. Not from fear, but from something quieter. Reverence, maybe. Recognition. The moment you touch it, you hear the first drop. Soft. Uncertain. Then another. Then more. But the rain doesn't fall from above. It rises. From the earth. From between the blades of grass. From the seams in the road. It lifts slowly into the air like breath reversed, forming a translucent canopy above the suitcase, swirling like a memory caught in rewind. The drops begin to fall again, but only into the suitcase, nowhere else. Your hands stay dry, your coat untouched. But inside the case, rain gathers, pooling, filling. You don't understand what it means, but you recognize it anyway. It's the kind of rain that follows guilt, that collects in the corners of forgotten decisions. You lean forward and look inside. The contents drift in water. A photograph of a motel door. Room 6, covered in frost. A child's glove, floating, palm upward, as though reaching. A mirror shard, still warm though submerged. A note, the ink melting, blurring into unreadable ghosts. You reach in. The water is cold, but it doesn't resist. It wraps your wrist like a memory reclaiming itself. Your fingers find something new, soft, wrapped in cloth. You lift it, unfold it. A tape cassette, labelled in crooked handwriting. Play if loop is breached. You hold it to your ear. It's silent. You slide it into your coat pocket. As you do, the rain inside the suitcase begins to steam. You blink. Now the water is gone, evaporated. But everything inside is damp, not soaked, just touched. Touched by a version of you that regrets. You close the lid. The zipper slides shut like a mouth deciding to stop speaking. You rise. The clearing is different now. Filled with motel signage, floating disassembled. An O here, a 6 there. Neon tubes dangling from invisible cords. The air smells like motel soap and burnt film. You begin to walk. The road reappears, but it runs backward, literally. You watch the white lines recede underfoot, like tape spooling in reverse. The radio in your pocket switches on by itself. A voice says, "You overflowed. We caught what we could. The rest will return next time." You whisper, "Next time?" The radio answers, "Don't worry, the road remembers." You feel the suitcase pull gently at your arm. It wants to be carried. You lift it and walk. Behind you, the sky replays a sunrise that hasn't happened yet. In front of you, a motel door. No number. Just your reflection, weeping quietly from the doorknob. The door has no knob, no lock, no frame. just surface, glowing faintly with a sickened colour, like old wallpaper left in a sunless room. You place your hand against it. It feels like the skin of your own back, familiar, unreachable. It doesn't open. It yields. You lean forward, and the fog behind you thickens, pressing like memory, like weight. You whisper, "Please." And something knocks, not from the door, from inside the room. 3 soft thumps, then silence. You push again. It unfolds inward, not like a door, but like a curtain pulled aside by invisible hands. Inside, a room you know, but from dreams, where nothing is where it should be. The furniture is all slightly wrong. The wallpaper peels upward, and on the wall across from you, a television. Boxy, old, familiar. The kind Grandma kept in the corner of the living room. The one with the channel knob that always stuck. The one she said was haunted in the way that all old things are. It's already on. Muted, flickering. You cross the room, each step padded with memories you don't want to recall. Your gloves feel too tight. You sit, and you wait, because that's what you always did at her house. Waited for something to finish. A storm, a casserole, a story. The static on the screen settles into an image, black and white, a hallway, yours. Then, a door, room 6. The knock comes again, but this time, from the television. You lean forward, and you see her, your grandmother, standing in the hallway on the screen, wearing her apron, eyes kind and unblinking, hand raised to knock again. She does, 3 times. Each knock echoes through the room. You whisper, "I'm here," and she speaks, but her mouth doesn't move. Only the static reshapes into her voice. Don't forget the light in the hallway. It only flickers when you lie. You shudder because the light above you begins to flicker. Once, twice. You don't remember lying, but the bulb remembers for you. The TV cuts to static again, then clears. Now, a kitchen. She's there again, stirring something on the stove. She looks up, right at you, and smiles. Her lips move. This time, you can read them. The road is in the recipe box. The screen flickers. You glance at the shelf. There it is, the metal recipe box. Blue, dented. You open it. Inside, not cards, not food, maps drawn in crayon, all roads, all loops. One ends in fog, one ends in fire, one ends in room 6. You run your fingers along the edge of that card. It pulses, your voice from nowhere. You were always trying to feed me memories. And hers, gently. Because you were always starving. The TV clicks off. You don't touch it. The room is quiet. And then, the knock again. 3 times. But this time, it's from inside the suitcase. You turn slowly, suitcase at your feet like a loyal animal that's learned to wait, to whimper in dreams, to remember things you were too young to forget. The knock came from within, not just sound, but rhythm, vibration, heartbeat. You kneel beside it. The zipper is already open, not fully, just enough. You don't remember opening it. But you always leave things ajar, don't you? Inside, not the cassette, not the gloves, not even the mirror shard. You see the steering wheel, just hovering, round and real and waiting, framed in fog like it had always lived there, pressed against time. You blink, you're sitting behind it. Again, still. The car thrums gently beneath you. You recognize the hum. It's the sound of the engine remembering how to move forward through a memory. You check the mirror. There you are, in the back seat, asleep, mouth slightly open, gloved hands resting on a suitcase. But you are also here, driving, alone, together. The road stretches, but it's not blacktop, not now. It's reflection, liquid silver, a mirror unrolled. You grip the wheel, turn it gently. The road curves, and so do you. You pass yourself on the shoulder, walking, holding the same suitcase. You flash your headlights in greeting. You don't respond. You rarely do. The radio clicks on. This version is holding steady. Minimal bleed through. High cohesion. You frown. The voice is clinical. Not accusatory, but disappointed. You whisper, "Which version am I?" No one answers. You press the gas. The car does not accelerate. Instead, the world behind you retreats, as if it no longer wants to participate. Ahead, fog opens like a curtain, and you see the motel, the original, the real. Before the loops, before the static, it looks smaller, like it aged while you were away. The sign is burned out, but you still know the number. Room 6. Always 6. You pull in. You do not park. You simply stop, because the car understands now. Because the dream knows how to pause. You step out. The other you remains in the back seat, still dreaming, still looped, still safe. You walk toward the door, but the ground beneath your boots flickers. Every step becomes an echo, every motion a reverberation. You see yourself again, through the window, already inside, watching the television, mouthing the words you're about to hear. You turn back toward the car. Now both doors are open, the engine off, but the headlights still glow. You are no longer behind the wheel. You are no longer outside. You are no longer a single you. You are layers, stacked, broadcasting, overlapping. You walk back to the car and open the trunk. Inside, a road, wound like film, labelled, run again. You laugh, then you stop, because someone else is laughing too. From the glove box, you open it. There's nothing inside, except your own voice, recorded and curled like a question. How many times have I done this? And a response, not yours. Enough to get better at it. You sit back down in the driver's seat. The keys are already in. You turn them. The car doesn't start, but the world does. And the road ahead unfolds into you. You drive, though the car no longer responds to your control. It moves in rhythm with your thoughts, turning with your memories, idling when you hesitate. The headlights stretch ahead into fog that flickers like old film. The road begins to narrow, but not in width, In certainty, it becomes less road and more idea of road, more memory than surface. Asphalt gives way to reflection, and the wheels hum against glass as if skating across your own recollection. You glance to your left. There is no window, only a mirror, long, tall, hung like a curtain from sky to shoulder. It does not reflect the car, only you, just your face, tilted, watching you sideways. You blink, the mirror blinks back. It creaks softly, then opens. Not outward, not inward, but sideways, like a sliding panel in a dream, and behind it, a hallway, unlit, flickering with memories you forgot to feel. You steer left, but the car doesn't move. The mirror does. It tilts, rotates, moves itself around you, until it is no longer beside you. It is in front of you, blocking the road. Your reflection steps out, not from the car, from the mirror. They wear your gloves. Hold your suitcase. Smile with your childhood mouth. You open your door to step out, and you're already standing beside the car. You, not you, the other you, hands you the suitcase. It's lighter now. The mirror between you breathes. A hum rises from the glass, low, reassuring. It speaks not in words, but tones, and somehow you understand. This is the checkpoint. This is where you decide. Forward or fold. You open the suitcase. Inside, a reel of tape, half played. A photograph of room 6. A glove, yours. And in the lining, drawn in something darker than ink, a door. Simple. No knob. Only the word inside. You look up. Your reflection stands still, then speaks with your voice, softened by repetition. If you open the mirror, it stops reflecting. You nod, because you already knew. You step into the glass. It accepts you. Cool, then warm, then neither. You find yourself walking the hallway behind it, long, lined with mirrors, each one angled toward the next, and in each, you, dozens, hundreds, all watching, some crying, some smiling, some asleep, some holding tape recorders, whispering apologies, some missing faces entirely. You walk until the hallway ends. One final mirror, large, fractured, but still whole. It does not show you. It shows room 6, the bed, the snow globe, and the child. You, waiting. You raise your hand to the glass, and the child raises theirs. Perfect sync. You step forward. The mirror opens again, sideways, and the light behind it is breathing. The moment you pass through the mirror, everything shifts, not like entering a new place, but like turning over in a dream and finding yourself inside someone else's memory. The hallway dissolves behind you without sound. Ahead, a soft hum stretched wide across the air like gauze, like silk, like static. It doesn't buzz, it breathes. You can feel it moving in and out. A slow inhale of presence. A gentle exhale of forgetting. The static thickens as you walk. It doesn't cloud your vision. It shapes it. The world around you flickers like a video caught between frames. To your left, a motel hallway. To your right, a forest path. Beneath your feet, Old carpet. Above your head, sky. You blink now. All four at once. A glitch. Or maybe a choice. The suitcase is in your hand again. Still zipped, still whispering. Not words, just breath. You stop walking, not because you've reached anything, but because something's watching. From inside the static, you listen, you hear it. Not one voice, all of them, layered. Yours, your grandmother's, the child you, the driver, the dreamer, the one who knocks. They say nothing distinct, but you understand anyway. Keep walking. It's almost time. It was always going to end here. It was never going to end at all. You open the suitcase. Inside, the radio. Still warm, still playing silence. You raise it gently, turn the dial. No stations. Only the sound of your own breathing, echoed, slowed, folded into something other. You raise the speaker to your ear, and from the static, a voice peals out. It's okay. You've already done this. Now do it again. You look up. The static has formed a door. Not wooden, not solid, just an outline. Like someone traced a rectangle into fog. You pass through it. No sound. But behind you the radio flickers. You glance back. Too late. It's gone. Replaced by a photograph. Hovering mid-air. You take it. You look. It shows a hallway. This hallway. But empty. Except a chair. Facing you. And on the chair. Yourself. Older. Gloveless. Smiling. You lower the photo. You're sitting now. In the chair. Hands folded. Eyes open. You never sat down. But you're here. The static flows around you now. Like a sea slowly drawing its tide towards something inevitable. It wraps your legs. Your arms. Not to restrain. To remember. You close your eyes. The static moves inward. Not like a noise. Like a tide of forgotten breaths. And in its rhythm, you hear it. The tape. Playing. Final track. A lullaby. In reverse. And somewhere in that slow, unraveling whisper, the voice says, you don't need the map anymore. You are the signal. You are the echo. The static breathes one last time and holds. The static no longer surrounds you. It contains you, as if everything that once echoed outside has drawn inward, condensed, distilled into the shape of your body. You rise from the chair, though you don't remember sitting. The legs of it groan slightly, like wood remembering an old posture. You reach down. The suitcase is already in your hand. You don't recall lifting it. It hums, warm, familiar. You open it, not because you choose to, because it opens, willingly, finally, inside. Fog, thick, alive. It doesn't spill out. It waits, held within the lining like breath withheld too long. You lean in, not to see, to listen. The fog speaks, not in words, but in weight, in memory. It smells like motel sheets and firewood. The glove box, Room 6. Your grandmother's hands. Your childhood breath on cold windows. You exhale, and the fog inside exhales back. Perfect rhythm. You reach into it. Your hand disappears instantly, elbow deep, then shoulder, until you're not sure where your body ends and the suitcase begins. Inside, not objects, moments. One by one, they return to you. A photograph you buried in the snow. A cassette you forgot to play. The exact feel of the car seat against your temple when you were too tired to argue. The sound of the voice you stopped calling your own. And then, a knock. From inside the fog. Soft. Insistent. You ask, "Who is it?" The suitcase answers by shifting weight. A shape pushes forward, solidifying, becoming. It is small, warm. You lift it gently. A snow globe. Inside, the road, your car, the motel. Room 6's door open, waiting. The flakes do not move. They remember. You tilt it slightly. Instead of swirling, the snow inhales, fills the room in the globe with air, and then you hear breathing from inside, from you, from every version of you. The ones that stayed, the ones that returned, the ones that never left. You whisper, "Is it time?" The suitcase pulses. The fog recedes. Not released, but satisfied. Like a promise kept. You close the lid slowly. It sighs, shut. One last warmth leaks through the handle. You carry it again. But it carries you too. Every step you take now feels shared. Like someone is walking with you. Not beside you, as you. You return to the road. You do not remember how you left it, but it accepts you, always does. The sky is low now, heavy with unspoken memory. You breathe, and the air breathes back. The static is quiet, but your name lingers in it, just barely, whispered, remembered. You walk as if the road itself expects it, as if with every step you affirm some ancient ritual that began the moment you first turned the key in a car that may never have existed. The fog remains quiet now, not absent, just patient, like it's watching you from the corners of the dream, waiting to see if you'll finally follow through. The suitcase swings gently at your side, lighter somehow, or perhaps you've just grown used to its weight. You pass a mile marker, no numbers. Just a single phrase, hand-etched into rusted metal. Still you. You smile, because of course. Because the road has a sense of humour. The static begins again. Not harsh, not immediate. It bubbles gently from your chest, not from a device. You cough once, and laugh. It surprises you. A dry, short sound, and from somewhere in the distance, the same laugh, played back, slower, like tape worn thin by time. You glance over your shoulder. No one. But the laughter continues. The loop is laughing now. The repetition, the circuit, the endless spiral. It finds you amusing. The way you carry the suitcase, like it isn't carrying you. The way you still think this is a journey instead of a return. You approach a familiar bend in the road. You know this one. The one with the power line that sags like a tired arm. The one with the billboard that once read vacancy and now simply weeps neon into fog. You stop. The billboard flickers and displays something new. You have arrived. Again. You chuckle. The radio in your coat pocket turns itself on. Playback complete. Initiating memory overwrite. Unless subject resists. You whisper, I won't. The road cracks. A thin seam opens beneath your feet, lightless, breathless. From it rises a duplicate. You, but wrong, but familiar. Its mouth doesn't open, but it speaks. You're late. You nod. It reaches out, touches your chest, and you hear every past version of you, sobbing, laughing, begging, sleeping, repeating, a crescendo of memory and static and snow globe glass clinking against tile. You drop the suitcase. It bursts open, not violently, gratefully, and from it, a voice, yours, pure, unfiltered. It says nothing, just breathes, for you. So you can be quiet now. You close your eyes. The loop around you tightens, not like a noose, like a hug, and the laughter stops. But it echoes for a moment longer, not to haunt you, to honor you, because even loops find closure, even circuits grow tired, and you did it again. You reached the bend. You carried the voice. You waited long enough to forget, and just long enough to remember. The fog is gentle again, draped over the road like linen laid across a sleeping body. You walk, not because there's somewhere to go, but because the act itself is all that's left. Forward motion for the sake of rhythm, for the sake of forgetting. Except you don't. Not anymore. You remember the turn in the road before you reach it. You remember the voice on the tape before it plays. You remember the knock before it echoes. You forgot to forget. And the world knows. It shifts around you, barely perceptible, like light changing just after dusk. The air thickens with knowing. Every branch on every tree points the same direction. Inward. The radio in your coat begins to rewind itself. No sound, just the feel. The gravity of memory peeling backward. You reach into your pocket. There's a note. You unfold it. It's blank, but you already know what it used to say. Do not reread this. You smile. Fold it again. Return it to your chest. The road beneath your feet flickers like old film. A frame skips. You're standing in front of room 6. You didn't walk here. You simply remembered the location hard enough that it summoned itself. The door is shut. There's no number, just a mirror. Small, oval, hanging where the peephole should be. It reflects your eyes only. No face. You knock. You already know how many times. 3. The exact rhythm of a lullaby your grandmother sang when your teeth were still new. The door doesn't open, but the mirror blinks and speaks. You brought it all back again. You weren't supposed to. You whisper, but I needed to. And now it will keep you. You place your palm on the door. It's soft, like breath, like fog. It opens without sound. And inside is every version of yourself you didn't want to carry. They sit quietly in chairs, on beds, on the floor. Some look up, some don't. Some are still whispering to radios. Others just cry. None of them blink. You enter. They do not react. But the room shifts to accommodate you. A chair unfolds near the bed. A mirror above it adjusts its angle. You sit. The suitcase floats beside you. Still open. Still empty. Still full. One version of you turns and smiles. Half apology, half recognition. They hand you something. A tape recorder. You press play. Your voice. This is the part where you remember that forgetting is an act of mercy. This is the part where you choose not to. You rewind it. Play it again. The others hum. Soft. Like wind through teeth. Like sleep approaching. You stand. The mirror reflects nothing now. Just fog. You place your hand on it. It ripples. And somewhere behind you, someone whispers, "Start again." And you say, "Okay." Because that's what forgetting is. And you forgot to. You speak again, but the sound that escapes isn't yours. Not really. It emerges smoother, quieter, like a voice polished by repetition, rounded off at the edges by echo and sleep. The moment it leaves your mouth, it feels unfamiliar. You tilt your head as if trying to catch yourself mid-sentence, but the sentence has already left, and the voice it carried doesn't look back. The others, those seated versions of you in room 6, don't respond. They continue their tasks, folding gloves that won't dry, rewinding tapes that never play, staring into mirrors that only reflect other versions of themselves. You walk to the dresser, open the top drawer. Inside, a pile of cassette tapes, all labelled in your handwriting, all titled Me. You take one, slip it into the radio that has quietly appeared on the nightstand, as if summoned by memory. It clicks, whirs, plays, your voice again, but saying things you never said. I left the door open on purpose. It wasn't the first time. You always take too long to forgive me. You hit stop. The room inhales. The air presses in, as if your pause offended something vast and hidden. You whisper, "That's not me." But the voice answers, immediately. It is. You stumble back. The radio continues on its own. The tape rewinds, then plays. This time, a different phrase. One that cuts you where you still pretend to be whole. I wasn't supposed to become permanent. But you kept remembering me. You pull the tape free. Throw it across the room. It vanishes mid-air. Not into shadow, into loop. Folded. Swallowed. You turn to one of your other selves, the one seated closest to the window. They're staring into a snow globe. You approach. They do not flinch. You kneel. See what they see. Inside, you, sitting, speaking, a broadcast, waves of sound radiating from your mouth, but not words, just shapes, just fog. You speak again, just to see what will happen. Hello? And your voice responds, not in air, but through the snow globe. It crackles, resonates, from within the tiny glass world, wrong version. You stand, and suddenly, you're holding a recorder. Its play button is already halfway pressed. Its rewind is jammed. Its record light blinks once, then steadies. You press it. You speak. But the sound comes out different. More echo. More static. More age. Your voice belongs to someone older, wiser, sadder. And you know then, it's not that the voice isn't yours. It's that you outlived it. It stayed behind. In room 6. In the radio. In the glove box. In the moment you first refuse to answer the knock. You exhale. It comes out like static, like cassette hiss. The window fogs. You reach toward it, but it opens first. Inward, quietly, a passage. Into yourself. Into the version of you that never spoke again. You stepped through, because it's time to listen. You step into a place shaped like silence, where even the fog seems reluctant to move, afraid it might disturb the recording still playing somewhere beneath your ribs. The passage behind you seals, not with sound, but with understanding. There's no going back, because back has become part of forward now. The hallway is narrow, lined with velvet that breathes. You run your fingers along the wall. It hums, like throat, like memory, like something trying to sing you home. The floor is carpeted in static. Each step crackles, releasing whispers that escape upward like steam. You reach a door. It's made of speaker mesh, soft, permeable. You lean in, and there's music on the other side. A lullaby, played in reverse, through water. You press your palm to the door. It gives way, and you enter. A room filled with radios, stacked to the ceiling, floor to ceiling, vintage to digital, some cracked, some sealed in plastic wrap. They are all turned on, all whispering, all raining. Not metaphor, not illusion, actual rain, seeping from the speakers, dripping, pattering onto the floor in a rhythm that syncs with your heart. You approach one, a small pink plastic model. You used to have one like it. You turn the dial. The station doesn't change, but the room does. The walls shift. Now, motel wallpaper. Now, car windows. Now, your grandmother's hallway. The rain continues. You tilt the speaker. Water pours from it, clear, cold, smelling faintly of motel soap and cassette tape. You whisper, "Why is it raining inside you?" And the radio answers with your own voice, slowed, because you never cried outside. You blink. The floor is flooding, not deep, just enough to rise over your ankles. You kneel. The reflection of the radios shimmer in the puddle, but they're not radios anymore. They're mouths, all open, all whispering. You listen closely. One says, "You left me in the glove box." Another, "You turned off the hallway light." Another, "You dream louder than you think." You sit cross-legged in the center of the room. You let the rain soak into your coat. You open the suitcase. It's empty. You leave it open. The rain begins to fill it, drop by drop. It does not overflow. It absorbs. You close your eyes. Let one drop fall onto your cheek. It feels warm, real, like a memory you didn't want to remember, finally forgiving you. The water rises to your knees. The radios flicker. And suddenly, they all speak in unison, not shouting, just clarity. Wake up! You're almost through. You open your eyes. There is one radio left, on a pedestal, glowing, old, your name scratched into the back. You approach. It has a single button, play. You press it, and your voice says, I know where you are. I know who I am, and I'm not afraid to meet myself again. The rain stops, not slowly, all at once. The room dries. The puddles vanish. The suitcase seals itself. You carry it again, heavier, wiser, ready. You carry the suitcase back into the hallway, and this time it feels different. Not like cargo, not like burden, like companion. The kind that hums quietly beside you, knowing what you know, forgiving what you forgot. The carpet is damp with old static. Each footfall releases the faint scent of motel air conditioning and dreams kept too long. Ahead, the door. Familiar. Wrong. Numbered with a handprint. 5 fingers. Gloved. You reach for the knob, but your hand stops. It's your left, still gloved, but now it's moving on its own. Your fingers curl, clench, tap once on the door. You didn't mean to, you whisper, not yet. The glove answers. You're already inside. The door opens. The room beyond is entirely mirrors. Ceiling, walls, floor. Even the bed is mirrored. Sheets of reflective silk, pillows stuffed with static, glinting with breath. You walk inside, and your reflection multiplies. You in every angle, you in every age, smiling, bleeding, laughing, silent. One version of you, directly ahead, reaches forward. You don't. It does. Palm against mirror, gloved. You lift your hand to match it, but the other lifts the wrong hand. The left, yours, is still. Yours resists. You try again. This time your reflection presses harder. The glass warps around it, and then the glove peels away, falls forward, lands on your side of the mirror, without the hand, still shaped like your fingers, still warm. It flinches. You blink. The glove crawls toward the suitcase, drags itself forward, and lays against the latch. The suitcase opens. Inside, the glove. Only one. But it fits you. You pick it up, slide your hand inside. It moves before you do. A test gesture, then another. You whisper, "Who are you?" The glove responds by pointing to the mirror, to the version of you still watching, still gloved, still smiling. Then it points again to the bed. You turn. Someone is lying there, curled, facing the wall. You know the shape. You know the breath. It's you. Of course. You approach. The figure on the bed breathes in sync with your steps. Each inhalation draws fog through the mirror. Each exhalation reveals your name, scratched briefly in frost, then gone. You kneel beside yourself, touch the shoulder. It's soft and flickering, not a body, a memory of one. You whisper, "I'm here, now." And the figure dissolves. Not tragically, not violently, just peacefully, accepted, like it was always supposed to make room. You sit on the bed, the mirrors begin to fog, all at once. The glove on your hand flexes, gently, reassured, and the suitcase closes itself again. With a sigh, you breathe, and this time, the breath feels new. You rise from the mirrored bed slowly, the kind of careful that comes from knowing something sacred just ended, or began. The fog outside the door hasn't returned, but something softer has taken its place. A hush. A gentler kind of forgetting, like sleep creeping through a late afternoon house. You walk back into the hallway. The mirrors don't follow you. They stay behind, clouded and sealed, as though satisfied that their work is complete. You carry the suitcase. You do not look inside. You trust it now. You know that it's not only yours, it's you. And ahead, down a hallway that should not be here. Room 6 waits. You recognize the door immediately. Wood scarred by time. Faint residue from stickers once peeled away. The smell of Vicks and nightlight plastic and your grandmother's television bleeding reruns through a thin wall. You knock. It feels like instinct. 3 times. Soft. The door opens. Of course it does. Inside, the air is warm. Still. It smells like childhood, but only in fragments. Cereal, crayons, dust on VHS tapes. A song you never remembered the name of. The room is laid out exactly as it was. Carpet with that one strange burn mark near the edge of the bed. Dresser with the crooked middle drawer. TV with the vertical line down the middle that never went away. And sitting on the bed, you. Small. Barefoot. Wearing the shirt with the moon phases. Hugging the snow globe. Tight. Like it's the only thing left that still believes in you. You don't speak, not yet. You sit beside yourself. Quietly. The younger you looks up. Eyes wide, but not afraid, just tired. You offer the suitcase. They hesitate, then place the snow globe inside. It fits perfectly. The suitcase clicks shut. Your gloved hand rests on the top. The child version of you speaks, not loudly, just enough. Did you come back to stay? You nod. You don't need to say it. The room hums. A familiar lullaby plays. Not from the TV, from the walls, from the air, from the silence. You've drifted off it again, but I saved your place. The child you yawns, climbs under the covers. You pull the blanket up gently, the way someone once did for you. The way no one has done in years. You sit beside the bed, watch yourself sleep. There's no mirror, no voice, no loop, only presence. Only now. The suitcase hums, once, then stops. You lean back in the chair, close your eyes. Just for a moment, but long enough to feel it. The road still turning outside, still looping, but slowly now. Like a record playing the final track. And someone, maybe you, finally listening all the way through. You don't know how long you've been in the chair beside the child you. Time here is syrup slow, quiet, thick, with meaning you no longer try to name. But something stirs, softly, insistently. A familiar hum, deep in your coat pocket. You reach in and pull out the flashlight. Still dented, still flickering, still remembering. You thumb it on. The beam stretches not outward, but through. It slips between dream layers like a needle threading its way across sleep, stitching shut the gaps where forgotten moments used to leak. You shine it across the floor. Dust motes rise, slow as fog. But they aren't dust. They're thoughts, old ones. You catch a glimpse of a dream you had when you were 8. where the door at the end of the hallway opened into the stars. Another flicker, your grandmother, brushing your hair behind your ear, whispering something about how some voices never stop. They just get quieter. The flashlight flickers again, then steadies. You shine it toward the dresser. The drawers are open. Inside, only gloves. Pairs of them. All yours. Sizes from every year you forgot you lived. You close each drawer gently, as though tucking a version of yourself into sleep. Then you shine the light on the bed. The child you is gone. The blanket is still warm, still shaped by their sleep. You smile. Not sadness, not joy. Something older. Gratitude. You step back into the hallway. The flashlight leads. You do not guide it. It chooses the path. The walls now drip slightly, not with water, with sound. A low whisper that repeats. Turn it off and you're ready to forget. But you're not ready. You shine the beam on the ceiling. It flickers, becomes a sky, moonless, but familiar. You see outlines, roads, cars, doorways, hovering just above, as though the whole world is projected backward onto your dreams. The hallway narrows, then widens, then becomes the inside of your childhood closet. You step through. The flashlight dims, not in failure, in permission. You find yourself back in the car, driver's seat, hands on the wheel, but this time, the glove is gone, your skin bare, and the warmth is yours. The flashlight rests beside you. You don't turn it off. It pulses gently, like breath, like heartbeat. Outside the window, fog thickens, but it doesn't press. It waits, patiently, because it knows. You remember now, and you carry it forward, all of it, even this, especially this. You turn the key, the engine hums, and the flashlight flickers, once, then glows steady. You drive slowly, the way one does in fog, not just thick with mist, but with memory. The kind of fog that has weight, that gathers your secrets and returns them as reflection. The kind of fog that listens. The headlights cast their glow forward, not to light your way, but to reveal what's following. Your breath stays soft, steady, but the air in the car grows denser. Familiar. Sad. Not heavy. Just old. The rear-view mirror vibrates faintly. You glance into it, but instead of the road behind you, you see the mirror itself, the one from room 6, hanging crooked, still fogged, and as you watch, it weeps. Tiny rivulets of condensation slide down the glass, slow and solemn. Tears that do not fall, but linger. You lift your hand. Instinct. Emotion born in lullabies and bedtime stories, and the silent pact you made with yourself never to wake too soon. You wipe the mirror, but your fingers don't touch glass. They press into something soft, skin. It blinks, and the mirror becomes an eye. Not yours, but one that remembers you. You lower your hand. The eye closes, sleeps, returns. You refocus on the road, and now there is snow, not falling, just resting, laid across the asphalt like a quilt from another life. You drive through it, gentle, wheels barely crunching. The radio flickers to life. A soundscape. No music. Just breath. And then your grandmother's voice, filtered through time. Mirrors are only sad when we leave them too long. You don't respond. You just blink, and the windshield fogs. Only for a second. Words appear in the mist. Keep driving. This time, you reach the end. You exhale slowly. The suitcase hums from the passenger seat. You open it without looking. Inside, a photograph. New. You and yourself. 2 versions. Standing in front of the mirror. Touching its surface. Eyes closed. Both crying. You press the photo to your chest. Feel the warmth of its presence. Of being witnessed. Of being forgiven. The rear-view mirror flickers again. You glance up. And now, you see every version of you, lined up behind, walking, driving, sleeping, speaking, listening, all of them following, all of them smiling. The tears in the mirror have stopped. It glows faintly, then fades. You turn back to the road and see it. One last bend. The kind of bend that ends a song. Not suddenly, but sweetly. Like a breath settling into rest. You drive, and the world follows. Quiet, belonging. The bend in the road isn't sharp, but it feels like a decision. The kind that's made slowly, softly, like pressing your hand against the surface of still water, knowing you'll leave a ripple long after you've gone. The fog parts gently as you pass through, not retreating, just opening. Inviting, the suitcase lies in the passenger seat, finally still. The glove you no longer wear rests atop it. It doesn't twitch, it doesn't reach, it only waits, because it knows. This is the last stretch. You look ahead, the road softens, loses edges. Its yellow lines begin to dissolve into the surface, like ink soaking into sleep. And then, music. Not from the radio, from everywhere. A lullaby. Familiar. One that was never sung aloud, only whispered behind doorways. It threads through the air, woven with static and silence, with things you once said under your breath when no one was listening. You turn the wheel slightly, but the car no longer responds. It knows the way. It always did. The headlights dim, and you see them. Not figures, not ghosts, versions of you, all of you. Standing by the road, lined like quiet witnesses to your remembering. Some wave, some just nod. Some press their hands gently to their hearts. You pass them, and they fade. Not erased, not forgotten. Just let go. The sky above curls inward. Stars blink behind clouds, shaped like old cassette reels. And far ahead, a house. Simple. Still. Its porch light on, but flickering. The closer you get, the more it steadies. The closer you get, the louder the lullaby becomes. You blink, and now you're not driving. You're walking. The car behind you, gone, or waiting. The suitcase still in your hand, but lighter. The porch creaks beneath your feet, like it remembers the sound. You reach the door. There is no number, only a mirror, oval, breathing faintly with your reflection. You raise your hand, knock once. The door opens. Inside, a room, a bed, a snow globe on the nightstand. and the lullaby still playing. Now from the air, now from you, you lie down. No need to remove your coat, no need to check the suitcase. Everything is here. Everything made it. You close your eyes. The lullaby begins to slow. The static fades into breath. And somewhere in the walls, someone whispers, "You can rest now. You remembered all the way through." The glove folds itself. The light fades. And the road stops. Not abruptly, not tragically, just gently, because it was always a cradle. And now, you're home. You don't wake, not exactly, but something lifts, not your body, not your breath, just the part of you that always waited in the hallway, pressing its ear to the motel door, listening for memory to settle like dust. You are lying in the bed still, but the room around you is slowly evaporating, walls softening, corners uncoiling like fog being folded gently back into sky. The snow globe on the nightstand glows, not from light, from memory. You reach for it. It's warm. Inside. Not the motel, not the road, not the child. Just fog. Swirling slowly. A single glove floats within. A mirror fragment. And a mouth. Silent. Smiling. You place it back down. And something exhales. Maybe the suitcase. Maybe you. Your hands rest atop the covers. One gloved, one bare. Your reflection watches from the window now. But there's no glass. Only memory pressed outward. You whisper, "Are you still there?" And the fog answers with a smile. You were never outside. You were the static all along. You feel the weight leave your chest. Subtle, like a cassette popping free from its housing. The final track complete. The loop. At peace. You hear the car outside start, but you're not in it. Not this time. Not anymore. The glove box closes. The mirror fogs, and for once, doesn't write anything, because there is nothing more to say. The bed sighs beneath you. You feel the hallway stretch out, not to lure you back, but to let you go. Like the road waving farewell, like the radio turning down the volume, slow, tender, deliberate. The snow in the globe begins to fall again. This time, downward, soft, final. And through the walls, no longer walls, just breath, comes one last whisper. You drift, no longer held by story or shape or voice. Only sleep remains, and silence waiting. You smile, eyes closed, no longer following the loop, no longer broadcasting, just resting. And as the world folds around you, warm and whole, the last note plays. A soft click, then stillness, then you are not in the room anymore, but it holds your shape for a while, just long enough for the silence to get used to being alone again. The snow globe rests where you left it, its final flake descending without urgency, then pausing mid-air, as if waiting to see if it should fall at all. There is no suitcase now, no glove, no mirror, no door, only the soft press of memory against the edge of dream. You are not watching, you are not hearing, you are not being, you are drifting, not away, but within. The voice, once yours, is gone, gently muted, like a tape wound too many times, played too softly to leave scratches. The road is gone, but its curve remains in your breath, its hum woven into the rhythm of your sleep. And just beneath your pillow, where your thoughts once waited for permission to quiet, a thin layer of static lingers, not loud, not sharp, just warm, like a memory that never needed to be true. You drift, no longer held by story or shape or voice, only sleep remains, and silence, waiting. End of script. Sweet dreams.